guys, welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Spilt Oil. But before we get into the podcast, I want to take this time to thank some brands and companies that help this podcast grow. Huge shout out to Detail Shop Garage and all their locations here in Ontario. They gave us this really cool product right here. It's called Sticky Snowball Ultra Snow Foam to show off for this episode. It's basically an extremely concentrated, super dense snow foam that sticks to all surfaces. It's the thickest stuff on the market. Guys, I've used this. This is a great idea for a stocking stuffer for all those car lovers out there. Now, ladies, are you looking for that thick white stuff to stuff your stockings this holiday season? Make sure you go and check out the Detail Shop locations. Tell them I sent you. They'll hook you up with the right stuff. We are also now official dealers of Roto wheels. It's a great stocking stuffer. You know, you could buy a whole set and fill 4 of them. So keep that in mind. For your future builds for the upcoming car season, as well as any inquiries, be sure to hit me up on Instagram, my personal, Marcello Nally, or even the shop's page, The Front Official. And now, enough of that. Let's get to the podcast.
Is it rolling? All right.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the second episode of our podcast, Spilt Oil. Today, we have a special guest, Michael from Neo Motorsports. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it a lot. So, Michael, as we kind of get into this little thing here, explain to the viewers what you do, how long you've been into the car scene, and, you know, just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I've been in the car scene, I wanted to say about 4 years ago, give or take. But I've always been into cars. You know, my first car wasn't exactly a car guy car. It was an Acura MDX. I bought it because my dad said, I want SUV. I said, okay. So I bought that. And then I graduated to an E90 3 Series. And that was the car that I kind of started like tinkering with.
Nice.
I had an X5, but that was short-lived. We don't talk about that. It's cursed. But yeah, like, you know, did small modifications here and there when I had it. But then ultimately the BMW does what BMW does. It does the breakdowns.
Does the breakdowns?
You know what BMW stands for, right? Break my wallet.
Break my wallet.
So, it did that.
That did it.
So
really.
basically, I ended up getting a Mark 6 Jetta 1.8T. Very fun little car.
You don't stray away from the Germans or even the Europeans.
Well, you see, you don't at first because, you know, it's like prestige. Right?
Oh, it's one of those things.
And then, but the thing is, like, over time, I built that car very nice. I like to think I did it really well. Met a few friends on it, Club Wolfsburg. I don't know if that's a shout out or not, but met a lot of close friends and friends there with like, you know, like minds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, here I am today with no Jetta, with a CRZ instead and a BRZ, and they're both reliable, unlike the Jetta.
CRZ and BRZ. So you went from full Euro to full Japanese.
Yeah.
That's all right. I think a lot of people are going into that direction nowadays.
It's more reliable anyway.
More reliable. Just, I guess, less maintenance cost and all that stuff as well. But
I'm just saying, with these gas prices, the CRZ is doing $45 a full tank, and I get 500-600 kilometers. I'm not complaining.
Don't complain. Hey, man, gas prices are crazy nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to leave my house. I can't afford it anymore.
I can't afford to drive.
No, sir. And I drive a family vehicle. I drive a Crosstrack.
Yo, it's
2019 Subaru Crosstrack, manual. Got to keep it fun. Great on gas mileage. But at the end of the day, man, I don't want to be paying, what was it? 145, up to 150. I know it's come down.
It was
way more. It was almost at 2. It was like 187, 190. But now it's come down. I think it's 135 right now.
Yeah,
it's a little bit better, but still, like, it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man.
Back in high school, I used to fill up my entire car for like 38, almost $40.
I'm just saying, at one point I was putting in 94 for funsies. I can afford this.
Why not?
Exactly. And then I'm just like, where are we now? Okay. But yeah, and then now, actually, I think when I really got into the hobbies, when I also jumped into this path, like his career path, like working at Neo Motorsport, started off as just that, I guess, general help kind of thing. Like, I do whatever I need to be done, but then ultimately graduate to just a more manager role, I guess, just running things, trying to keep up to date with stuff. It's hard. It's really hard. But,
it's super hard. Trust me, I know.
But it's fun. And here I am today with my prized possessions that I have, which is only 2 cars. Nothing to be proud of. But you know what, it is what it is.
Hey man, look, let's not judge, because some of us have more cars, but we're in deeper pockets than others. Some of us only have 2 cars, but they got a little bit more equity. It's a give and take in a lot of things, you know what I mean? But
I needed a daily for my daily.
A daily for my daily. You know, I wish I could have a daily for every day of the week, and then like a race car for every day of the week.
Oh, yes, imagine that.
And then like a family car for every day of the week. You know what I mean? Like, because eventually I'm gonna have to grow. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, there's gonna be a lucky lady somewhere in this world that is.
You heard that? You heard that? He's looking. Be careful.
No, I'm not. I never said I was looking. I'm looking. I gotta say that I'm emotionally unavailable. That scares them nowadays.
Oh my god, you okay? Emotional damage.
Basically, is what we need. Can we cut that meme in there somewhere, please?
Emotional damage.
Yeah, no. Ideally, you know. But the problem is, I know I'm never probably gonna make that much money. I think if I have like a solid 6-7 cars, all variety between, you know. Show, daily, track, family kind of thing. That'd be nice enough for me. I don't think I'm gonna go too crazy where I need like 6 of each. You know what I mean? It would be nice. It would be nice.
Aim high, settle low.
Aim high. You know, shoot for the stars.
And then just settle.
Aim for the moon, shoot for the stars, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
I see. But yeah. So what is Neo Motorsports? What do they do? What do they focus on? And what's your demographic? Like, what do you try to achieve? What is the brand trying to achieve?
So what we do, I have a good example for it.
What do you got?
Oh no!
You got a gift for me?
I mean, I dressed up as Santa today, so I guess.
I mean, I'm Golden Santa. Does that count?
Oh, you know what? No, you're on the.
Can I guess what it is?
You're on the bad boy list. Sure, Jessica. What do I do? What does Neo Motorsport do?
Can I guess that it's a in size rate? I mean,
it's kind of small, yeah.
It's kind of small.
It's kind of small, yeah.
That's okay. Small things, you know, big things come in small packages.
That's what she said.
That's what they always say. You know what I mean? Okay, surprise me. I'm not sure.
Well, in case you're wondering what Neo Motorsport does, we do.
Can I guess?
Wait.
Ooh, look at that color. Blue.
Oh.
Is that a big brake kit caliper? Can I hold? Is that available?
Yeah.
Oh
Go
my
ahead, hold
goodness. Jesus, look at this beautiful thing right here.
It's so blue. If I were green, I would die.
So, I thought your traditional colors were orange. Am I correct?
Yes.
So is this a special edition caliper, or what is this?
So what we do is, so we make big brake kits and coilovers, but I'm not going to bring a whole entire coilover here, so I bought the caliper. Just going to put that out there first. We do offer special colors, and it's just that like you have to ask for it, right? That blue is anodized blue, so you can always just call us, and then when you request and order your kits, we could make that color happen for you. But yeah, and it comes in various sizes, but this is the one I chose because I think it's the best looking one, and technically this one is gonna be mine. Technically,
ooh,
yeah,
a little surprised.
Yeah.
Now, is this so? This is one of the standard colors you can get. Does it cost more to get this color besides orange, or like is there a difference? Or?
So I don't normally charge for extra for like the primary colors, like example red, blue, green, yellow, whatever.
Okay.
The color wheel and anodized, I normally don't charge for it, but we charge for like the special plated colors.
Okay.
So like once upon a time, I had these gold calipers that actually went on RX-7 now. That I had to charge extra for just because of the material of how hard it was made.
Plated gold,
it's
like
gold plated.
Chrome,
yeah, like gold. You can see your reflection in it.
That looks kind of nice.
There's also a few that were neochrome colors.
Okay, yeah.
So one of our closest friend, customer, I guess, Mr. Tommy Fan with his NSX. I absolutely love that car. It looks so good. It's running our neochrome big brake kit for his NSX.
Yeah.
And that's also a special color where like I have to charge extra for it because of the plating. This is something that I can normally do. Like I can even do like anodized purple for you. Which I've done actually one time.
You know what, I must say, this blue here is like really, really nice. It's got a nice sparkle to it.
Yeah.
The engraving, though, like the silver, aluminum, is it aluminum, correct?
Mm-hmm. This is a 2-piece forged aluminum caliper. So everything is full aluminum forged. It
looks beautiful.
Oh, it looks beautiful. It works. It's and approximately it shares about half the weight of a standard floating caliper.
It does feel lighter. Like if for a very big caliper, like compared to let's say like a stock 1 piston or even a 2 piston like non big brake kit caliper, it does feel lighter than the weight of that would be, which is shocking since this is probably double the size of it, and it's got what is it? This is a 6 piston, right?
This one's a 6 piston. Yes,
it's a 6 piston. So you're adding basically an extra 4 pistons, sealed caliper,
and fixed caliper,
and it's almost the same or just lighter than an actual 2 or 1 piston OEM front.
So I actually did
caliper.
The weights on it one time. So there was one time the A90 Supra came in for a big brake kit. We went up a size and we got a bigger caliper on the car. Overall, it still saved about 3 to 4 pounds of unsprung mass, which is a lot. Because once you consider the fact that like it went up a size, so it has better brake cooling and all that fun stuff, it still managed to save weight. It's something to. I think it's impressive. I didn't think that.
Well, I think it all counts at the end of the day.
Exactly. Every little bit counts. You increase the braking power, you increase brake cooling, and you also have, longer lasting braking power, and yet it saved weight at the end of the day. And weight's very important when it comes to like racing and tracking and stuff like that, right?
Well, I think for the big guys out there that actually, they just chase numbers, you know what I mean? Like the guys that just chase the numbers, I think obviously they have to go for an upgraded brake system rather than just OEM or OEM plus at that point.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not enough, right?
When we're talking about like any racing series here, regardless if it's time attack or if it's open wheel racing or if it's just like a max attack challenge where you're actually trying to pass vehicles, every 10th counts.
Oh yeah,
like a tenth of a second is nothing in reality, but it means so much on a performance level on a track, on a lap time. You know what I mean? It could literally mean it can mean the difference between pole position and 6th place.
Oh, literally,
100%.
Yeah, exactly. That
right?
point one can literally make you from winning to losing. Real quick.
100%.
Totally. Yeah, that's why, like, usually for big brake kits, if it's not for the show guys and when it comes to performance stuff, I always recommend, if you're not competing, don't think about it just yet. Utilize everything you have first to get the hang of the car, then you upgrade to it.
Yeah.
That's how I normally tell people to do it.
It's better to increase in small increments, you know what I mean? Like, don't go like full force right away and then you end up sending your car off track somewhere and...
Oh, that's happened multiple times.
Oh, I've seen it happen.
It's great.
Times,
it's hilarious.
I love going with the TMP at Cayuga. You got some rookie drivers that they think that they're Michael Schumacher or Fernando Alonso, and then they overshoot a corner in a Miata, and then next thing you know, the Miata's upside down. So
suddenly you don't have a Miata anymore.
Suddenly the Miata is no longer a Miata. It's a Yada.
It's a Yada out of here.
It's a Yada out of here.
Miata here, bro.
All right. So your company, Neo Motorsports, you guys make big brake kits, specifically the calipers. Do you guys supply the rotors as well?
Yeah, so our big brake kit comes with calipers and rotors.
Comes with the rotors.
And pads as well.
And the pads.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a whole
ensemble. Like it's a little direct bolt.
Slap on, ready to go.
Yeah, ready
you don't
to
need
go.
to like source out other parts.
No.
Okay, cool.
You might just want additional add-ons and stuff like brake ducting and stuff like that, but
a little extra performance, a little extra cooling.
Yeah, enhancing the cooling because like that's I find that in the modern day cars, especially because there's so much tech behind it, that there's not enough like they tend to seal off everything for aerodynamic efficiency, for fuel efficiency and like drive.
No airflow towards.
It's much less. Like from my experiences, the Mark 7 Golf R, even though it's an MQB chassis, much like the TTRSs and RS3s.
Yeah.
Those cars, because they're more higher performance, they got brake ducting. So they have this little like a duct that like fin that just direct air into to cool off the brakes, right?
Yeah.
But then on the Golf R, you can't. Like, you don't have it. It's just sealed. And then I have seen people that has run the car without the ducting and stuff, even with big brake kits, just cook the brakes. Just because there's not enough cooling down there, right? So, yeah, like stuff like that. yeah, like it's just a matter of like, yeah, it's just weird. Like how like modern day cars are just like it's not as simple as just putting on the brakes and stuff. Like you not just brake kit, you also have to think about like how you make it maximize the efficiency of stuff.
It's
right?
almost like you have to do supporting mods for the mod.
Exactly.
Just almost as you do performance mods for the engine, you have to also think about what else is surrounding the component.
Yeah, it's not just pistons and valves. It's like, okay, what about the springs, right?
Yeah.
Or the seals, right?
Yeah.
And like, what about what is it called? Injectors and stuff, all that other stuff. Everything is encompassing, right?
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So, to my knowledge, not only does your company do big brake kits, you guys also do coilovers.
Yeah, I just didn't have a chance to bring it because it's kind of big.
It is pretty. It is pretty big.
Yeah. This is cute and pretty.
It's a little cute. It's a little nice and presentable for the table.
Exactly.
We could probably fit a coilover over there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Next time.
Next time. All right. So, explain to us the coilover process. The intentions behind, what the coilover is, what your demographic, what you're looking for, the materials, the different options of versatility of what you offer, like all that stuff, like kind of break that down for us.
Yeah. So when we first started, it was more intended for racing users.
Okay.
So we're actually part of a endurance racing league called Lucky Dog Racing.
Okay.
I mentioned it a few times before talking to you off podcast, but we started off amongst other things, and then we ended up in that league, and then we started to develop more harder for endurance racing purposes. So we actually started to change up the lineup as well. We went a little bit above and beyond and started to do more than just a single one-way dampening system. We also went two ways.
Okay.
So like the one with the compression and rebound adjustability
And the
ones.
rebound, yeah.
Yeah. Slowly coming out, integrating it, introducing it, but it is a higher ticket price item, so might not be a good time right now. But people need to try it to know, right? The purpose behind it is so that you have more adjustability for track, right? When you do tuning, suspension tuning is very, very important to dial in the car and how you want it to behave, right? There's no one like fix for the perfect car.
Yeah.
Just particularly because everyone's driving capabilities are different. Everyone's driving styles different, right? Some people some people are more ballsy and brave, and they're more than willing to help the car rotate. Some people just want that stability, right? They wanted that car to like be
just
balanced,
stuck to the ground.
Yeah, like handle on rails, right? So there's a lot of different settings and tuning they had to do to suspension, right? So having the two-way system introduced allows for more of that fine adjustment that people are looking for.
Okay.
So I'm very excited to look forward to like when it comes out and gets into the actual racing series and see how everyone plays with it, I would say, to make it to their own specifications. And yeah, like that, I'm just waiting for 2023 at this point.
So across the line, the Neo Motorsports brand, it's dedicated itself and its technology and its development towards more of a performance racing demographic.
Definitely, yes.
Now, not saying that your big brake kits and your coilovers can't go on street builds.
No, for sure not.
Because they definitely can.
Of course.
And you do have, I know for your coilovers, more of a base coilover for especially, someone that's not really trying to, go after lap times or go after performance numbers, something just to lower their vehicle streetwise. You do offer like a baseline coilover as well for that.
Yeah, so we used to have something called Type AAs, which was intention was that it's all aluminum and it was to save weight, unsprung mass once again, and also be able to perform on track side, right? So we got it to perform on track, but we did find that it was a little too stiff for our Canadian roads, especially with all the potholes that don't get managed. So our new one-way system, we call it goes back to a little bit more of a digressive valving, so it's a little bit more street oriented.
Okay.
So that's a new lineup that's going to come out to replace the old Type AA, just because of simplicity of it all. If you really want to chase out the track times and chase out the lap times, go for the two ways, because that gives you the most adjustability and fine tuning settings.
Yeah.
If you just want to casually go on track, maybe like once, like 3 times a year kind of thing, just to play.
Yeah.
But you still want to look good and all that stuff and still functional on the road, then you get the one way. replacing the AA is kind of tough now because everybody recognizes it as that.
Yeah.
But you know what? New year, new me. We'll see where it goes.
Hey man, it's time for a rebrand, right? Or not even a rebrand, just like a new
Revamp,
product,
yeah.
revamp, exactly,
Yeah.
right? Like, you're gonna create something eventually, and I'm sure 2 years or 3 years down the line from that, you're gonna reinvent that same product just better. And
Yeah.
you're just gonna want to resell it, and people are gonna be like, oh, well, the first one wasn't that great. It was good, but wasn't that great. I'm like, well,
It could be better.
It could be better. Everything could be better, regardless.
Yeah, of course.
But no, that's great. So like Neo Motorsports is based out of Bolton.
Yeah, so right now we're currently located in Bolton. We also started to do service like tuning, corner balancing, even just regular car service actually.
So you guys have the shop. You guys do your own work, maintenance work, service work there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wicked. A little Timbit for you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to take my business? No.
hey, I'm west, you're east, I'm west side. Oh,
Funny thing is, like, I grew up in the Bolton area.
Yeah.
I grew up in Caledon, and then my mother moved to Bolton a few years back, and I didn't even know Neo Motorsports was in Bolton since the last 2 years I've known, but prior to that, I didn't even know.
Yeah, because I think we moved there before I started, so call it 2018, 2017, late 2017, early 2018. So realistically, we haven't been there for that long. So
okay.
Also,
makes sense.
Also, Bolton area. It's not exactly
It's not a pop in car neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's not like
it's not downtown. It's not Scar. It's
not a lot of
Markham.
rich money spenders over there.
Exactly.
So, but I think I was surprised because I first met you at Japan Wheels Meet.
Yes.
2019.
No, 2021.
No, I don't.
2020.
2020.
Well, wait, last year.
No, before last year.
Before last year. I lost track of time, man. COVID does things to you.
Hold on.
I think it was 2021.
2021.
Yeah, because it was
you,
T1
hold on. You are correct.
Yeah.
He's correct. 2021 because
yes.
It was the first year with my yellow legacy, and I remember because 2021 was the first year with my yellow legacy, and I had that car there.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. And Japan Wheels Meet wasn't this year, so it had to have been last year.
Exactly.
Yes. So yes, 2021. I made the mistake. Time goes by fast. I don't know.
It's hard to keep track of time.
It's hard, especially with COVID and everything screwing up in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's when I met Michael. I didn't even know him from Neo Motorsports. I just met him because he was yelling at people with a microphone at the meet.
That was great. That was a great time.
You know what I mean? And it was just like an instant bond. Be like, hey, this guy's yelling at people. I like to yell at people. I mean, it makes sense to be friends. But yeah, and then down the road we start seeing each other more at meets, and I realized he's from Neo Motorsports, and then I realized Neo Motorsports is in Bolton, and then I'm like, this is just a great relationship starting to form. Michael here obviously goes to a lot of the tracking events, either if it's CSCS, Lucky Dog Racing. Have you been to Ontario Time Attack?
So I haven't gone to the Ontario Time Attack because
Okay.
I was told that it's not a spectator event. So if I go there, I better be doing something, and I don't.
They don't allow spectators at Ontario Time Attack?
I'm not really sure. I have a few friends that do it, so I asked them, and they said, don't worry about it. Go CSCS instead, because you want to go see things, go there. If you want to compete, then you come here. So I was like, I'm not competing, so.
So it's more of a focused kind of development driver.
From what I
You know what I mean?
understand,
Okay.
yeah. They even have a whole point system for if you build your car a certain way, you get.
Yeah, I did read into their rule book. It's funny how each racing series, they have their own rule book, and they differ so far between each other. Especially Ontario Time Attack and CSCS, the rule difference is just night and day. Which I think is fine, because I think it just brings a little bit more diversity in people that want to compete. They could do both series and have a better audit in one than the other.
I know a lot of people actually that's trying to do both, but
sometimes the schedules overlap each
Yeah.
other, which gets difficult, and then sometimes it's like a full race day really takes a beating on you. You know what I mean? So if you're at CSCS Sunday, and then CSCS is a pretty big event, and it puts a lot of pressure on a driver and a team, and you guys are beat by the end of the day. Chances are that you want to wake up 5 a.m. for the next morning for Ontario Time Attack or something else that's an hour away. It's going to be very unlikely. Kudos to the people that would do it. I remember when I used to race go-karting across Ontario, we would have a Saturday and a Sunday. Saturday would either be at like a Goodwood in Stouffville, and then Sunday would be Mossport at Toronto Motorsport.
Yeah, CTMP, yeah.
CTMP, yeah. So like it would be 6 a.m. on Saturday morning till we'd get home around 6 p.m. Literally like the 12-hour thing.
Yeah.
And then next morning, 6 a.m. all the way back to 6 p.m.
Boy.
It is brutal. Even in go-karting, it's brutal.
Well,
so,
I think it's hard in go-karting just because, like, you know, it's, oh man, it breaks my back every time. Like,
I'm gonna be honest right now. I get as a person that is professionally raced in Ontario for a national level for karting, and as well, I've competed at a few racing like car events. I've been to Mossport. I've been to Cayuga for like some open track days. I've been through some open lapping time attacks. So as a person that has done a lot of different racing types, go-karting has done two things that no other sport has. No other series has for some reason. It gives me the most butterflies in my stomach before a race, and as well as it beats my body the most. Now, I think a lot of it has to do because, like, go-karting, you actually got to physically carry your cart on and off the stand.
Yeah.
As well as, like, the mechanic is, like, in go-karting, you have anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes between each of your sessions. So if anything happens in between, like you go on a track for practice and you come off and you want to change your gear ratio to get, let's say, more top end or more torque, you got to get that done within 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And then you have to be back on grid for your next session, rather if it's practice 2 or qualifying or your semifinal, you know what I mean? So it's very high paced or fast paced. It's very stressful, not only for the body but for the mind, because you're constantly putting yourself to the limit. Like, I got to do it. I got to get this done now, so I can get back onto the grid, go back onto the track, make sure it works, and then if it doesn't work, you got to do the whole thing all over again. You know what I mean?
You got to chase after that, like aspect,
exactly.
That little, you know.
And hopefully by the time that your semi-final or your final comes in karting, you have everything dialed in. Hopefully. Then it's full butterflies of how you're going to perform during that race. Because karting is different, especially from a car perspective. You're open wheel. You're very low to the ground.
Yeah.
You're fighting and competing at very tight corners compared to car racing. You got anywhere from 20 to 35 to 45 people in carts on the grid at once, rather than on like a street car. You got maybe like 15 max.
Dare I say it's more visceral doing like go-karting, because like everything's more raw, you know, like whereas like, you know,
you're racing. Karting is like, you could, I don't want to say there's contact allowed, but like there's less of a worry, because if you're racing in cars, if you build like a $50,000 $70,000 race car, you're not going to want to bump draft nobody.
Yeah,
you're not going to want to like rub some tires, you know what I mean? No, exactly.
That's the last thing I want.
But in karting, it's almost like there's no fear. You know what I mean? Like a little rub's not going to hurt anybody. So
touch the guy. Yeah,
exactly, right? And sometimes you got to make that move, you know, with that small window of opportunity to get it done, right? So that's why I think in karting you need that fast reaction. You need it to get, you know, split second. Like I said, you're 2 inches behind the guy in front of you. You're in the draft. In a race car, you got to be at least a car length behind the guy, because if he slams on the brakes,
you're not stopping.
You're not stopping at that point. You know, you're going, Cayuga down the main straightaway at like, you know, 220, and the guy in front of you stops to go into the first turn, and you're just like 5 feet away from the guy's bumper, and like, let's say you're more confident than the guy in front of you, you're going in the back of that car, right? So in karting, it's different. Right? Karting, there's not that level of worry or concern. Like, you're on that guy's ass 24/7, right? And then as soon as he makes a mistake in the smallest window of opportunity, you take it, right? And if you rub tires or if you rub side panels, then oh well, big deal. You wipe it off after the race. I'm sure maybe depending on the move, there might be some words exchanged, but like the whole point is not a non-contact sport. Yeah. But I feel like especially in karting, the level of fear doesn't exist. The level of concern doesn't exist. People are out there. I think in I don't want to say all open wheel racing, because as soon as you start getting to Formula 1200 and like, you know, Formula 3, Formula 2, obviously Formula 1, like shit's crazy expensive. You know what I mean? A Formula 1 car costs like what? Like
millions.
Yeah, like
tens of millions.
I want to say an accurate number. I'm going to say like 10 million probably, or probably I'm going to say more than 10 million. Could be less.
You just say it's just too much money.
It's just too much money. So like $10 million is probably like something you'd win in the lottery, obviously, but like
it could cost as much as that.
Take it back down to Formula 3000, and then you're probably looking at like, I'd say like anywhere from a quarter to $750,000.
Oh really?
So anywhere from $250,000 to $750,000. That's what the car is worth. Or no, you know what? Probably like 1.5. I'd probably say.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
The development in racing is crazy. So, but yeah, the level of concern grows as you progress on the racing ladder. But I think go-karting is just so raw in the form of racing that you really see the natural talent there, because there's no caution, no one's afraid of death, no one's afraid of damaging the cart, or you know, because it's still expensive, but it's not like thousands of millions of dollars, you know what I mean?
It's like a Formula 1 car. Grand,
exactly.
Whatever.
Or like the worst case, couple grand. I remember my worst day at karting at Mosport. I bent 3 axles in one day, and each axle was $300. So 3, 6, 7, 8, so $900. And just like, you know, obviously the time is we fix it ourselves at the track, you know, in our own little pit crew area. So like, let's say $1,000, not including the race day fee and the gas and whatever food, you know, it's $1,000 in damages. That's literally worst case scenario. Roughly, sometimes you could just destroy your entire cart. I've done it before. I've done it to other, like people have done it. I've seen it millions of times. Like I've seen carts fold in half from like a huge collision. The cart's probably like 4K, 3,000. You know, that's worst case scenario. Right, you hit a Formula 1200, one suspension shock is like $1,000.
You just said that it wasn't that dangerous. Suddenly you're talking about folding.
Well, no, okay,
what's going on here, bro?
No. I never said it wasn't dangerous. I said there's just a lack of fear. Trust me. I've seen some crazy stuff. You know, like personally, if you want to go on YouTube, there's a guy I used to race with. His name's Ross Sorrentino. He's got a bunch of karting videos from Mosport. A couple of videos I'm actually on there. Like he's literally following me for the entire race.
Oh, okay.
So there's been crashes. I've seen people flip like multiple times and roll. My younger brother, he had an accident when he was younger. He flipped the cart as well. You know, my worst incident personally was at a national level at Mosport, a national event. There was about 44 cars on the track at once, which is very, very, like a very big grid. You know, a lot of congestion, and there was a couple cars in front of me on the opening lap. They got too close. Someone went sideways, and they were sideways in the center of the track, and people were avoiding, and people were hitting each other trying to go around. Yeah. And I was just in a position where I had a guy to my left, a guy to my right, and I couldn't go nowhere. Like it wouldn't have mattered if I pressed the brakes, because it was literally from here.
It's too close.
It was just it's just gonna happen. You know what I mean? I can close my eyes and see what happens.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Let Jesus take the wheel at that point, right? So I let off the gas. I didn't even press the brake. I didn't bother to put the effort into it. My body went numb. Usually they say to let go of the steering wheel so that way you don't break a wrist or something. Yeah. But I just held on, like, you know, super tight. I was like, I'm just gonna like let my feet go, hold onto the steering wheel, see what happens. So I hit her head on, like T-boned her sideways, and I remember like being flung. And I remember one point, like my eyes were open, and all I saw was blue, which was the sky.
Oh,
that's it. And then eventually, like I landed, and I landed on my like normal on the wheels, and
so
I tried. And the first reaction I had was like no pain, no nothing. It was just like keep on going, go. Like my foot was back on the gas pedal. But the problem was the car wasn't going nowhere. Engine was just revving out, and I looked around. And
you broke the axle.
I had a pop tire, and I had a rim that was like cracked in half. And I was like, okay, I guess it's the end of my race. But I was physically fine. You know, like I wasn't dizzy or anything. Like it was definitely like, you know, wow, like that happened really fast. I didn't do a roll. I did like some like of a cartwheel, like a sideways cartwheel. Exactly. Okay. But then I go look at it was actually a girl that was sideways that I hit. And I go look at her cart, and I say that I bent her chassis over her legs. That's how hard I hit her. Ooh. Right? So like basically like it was, imagine getting like a go-kart chassis and folding it in half. Yeah. Right? So she could still get out, but like it was difficult. Yeah. But like I bent the entire frame like over.
Was she hurt?
No, like I think she was definitely sore for sure.
Yeah, from the impact. Yeah.
I don't think she was exactly running away from that accident, but
she wasn't like.
No, she wasn't like amputated or nothing. Like that.
Amputated. No, I was like that's extreme, but.
But no, nothing like that. But like that's what I mean. Like there's a lack of fear. It doesn't mean that it's not still dangerous. I've seen a lot of really dangerous accidents. I've seen people literally get run over. Like what happens is when like you know it. When a front wheel hits a rear wheel and you get just sent, you get catapulted. Yeah, I've seen that in go-karting where the guy gets sent over another driver, like completely drives over this guy. This guy gets annihilated, and like I've seen that. The guy's okay, like he's definitely all stiff and sore. Yeah, but like
I'm bracing.
It's super dangerous. Racing overall across the board is super dangerous.
That was karting, right? So
imagine it's karting, right? So when you go into cars, like I feel like the death rate in karting, it's still very possible. It's just very low. But people tend to get in more accidents because there's less fear. When you get into car racing, at the level that we're talking about, at like a time attack level, at like a local, provincial or country level where it's CSCS,
still okay.
The level of racing isn't bad. Yeah. There's a lot more concern into the drivers because they got a lot of cars. A lot of these people are bringing their cars that they're not daily drivers, but they're cars that they build specifically for racing. They don't have a lot of money. They just, they spend whatever they have to have a nice fun weekend. Mm-hmm. So they're more cautious. They don't want to blow their race car just because of like some split decision they want to make a pass or not, right? So in that aspect, I would say there's a lot more caution. There's a lot more time in development involved in car racing. Mm-hmm. Because nobody wants to crash their $50,000, $20,000, whatever car. It's a $5,000 go-kart all in compared to a $25,000 car all in. You know what I mean?
$25,000 is a cheap car.
That's what I'm saying. $25,000 is a cheap car, right? So at the end of the day, I think across the board, racing's dangerous. Racing's a raw sport. The rawest it gets. The rawest. It's raw. Then the least amount of protection, if that's what we want to call it, is in karting. I think hands down.
Realistically, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because like even look at F1, they have the halos now.
Exactly. Well, because they know.
Because they know someone died before.
Hey, man. They're not even. They're going 320 miles an hour. Not even kilometers.
A kilometer, it's like usually around 200 miles per hour. Because I think they hit like Mach 1, I think. Don't quote me on this one. I don't know my terminology very well, but like 200 miles per hour plus, all right? And like let's just say
some tracks. Let's just say a tire to the face at 200 miles an hour ain't going to leave you sitting for Christmas dinner with the family.
Even 100 miles per hour. Even 100 kilometers per hour.
But you go on the 401. And people are going 80 kilometers an hour and a wheel falls off and it hits someone else's windshield. Exactly. The car's destroyed. It's done. If that hit a person, that's game over. Yeah. See you later. Sayonara, sucker.
But yeah, that's right. Racing is definitely a dangerous sport, but it's also like all sports are dangerous.
I love it. I can't get away from it. It's dangerous. My grandparents hate that I do it. I'm pretty sure that's with every child, literally, growing up. My father put me into racing. He sat me in front of watching Formula 1 as a kid. My mother was like, oh, yeah, you can watch it. That's great. But as soon as I got into it, oh, my God. Hearing the stories, my mother would never come to the race. Never.
She don't want to watch it?
Never didn't want to. And it was, she was happy that I was doing something. She just didn't. She was one of those mothers where she was always very, like, worried and concerned.
She didn't want to see you get hurt, but she wants you to
the potential happy. Of being hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but the funny part was, like, I think every driver does this. They're prepared. They put their life on the line every time they go onto the track, and they know it. They know that there's a risk every time they step out there. And I was like, that risk excited me even more because it was like, all right, something cool's gonna happen today. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. And it's not even about winning. Like, winning's great, but it's just about the experience of, just competing. I always said this to everyone. I would rather want to be heavily competing competitively for 5th position with 5 other people battling it out till the very end, competitive racing, rather than winning the race by a lap or half a lap.
You want to be more.
I'd rather develop
competitive than to be just winning.
Exactly. I'd rather develop my skills as a racer, as a race car driver, and I feel like I have way more fun battling it out for 5th position than winning by half a lap. Now, don't get me wrong, winning's great.
Winning's a great feeling.
It's
man.
a great feeling.
Suck it.
I'd rather win on a last lap pass than a first lap pass, and then that's it.
You just want a more competitive feel. Yeah. That's what it comes down to.
And I think as we get into this, I wish these series were more competitive, especially with the rules that they set up. I know Ontario Time Attack's pretty good. CSCS, I think there was some late rule changes in the 2022 season. Like the last race or the last 2 races, there was like a slight rule changes. From what I've heard, I think there was a couple protests, but it's just difficult because they basically split it up between all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and front-wheel drive, and then basically stock, like street plus, and then unlimited. And basically, if you do an all-wheel drive car, you could have a naturally aspirated all-wheel drive Impreza go up against a brand new STI. If they're both stock. Technically.
Yeah, technically.
So that's why it's like you do have to spend money, or you do have to be strategic on what car you get that you want to race. And a lot of people don't have enough money to buy these new cars. Like if there's let's say a rear wheel drive, BRZ, stock BRZ, we know they're pretty quick around the track. I know they're fun. They're a good platform for track cars.
Yeah.
But what happens when you go up against a 370Z?
See, actually, believe it or not, surprisingly, the BRZ can hold his ground.
Oh, I'm pretty confident that BRZ can definitely hold his ground.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, you're going up against a car that has more horsepower, better handling. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just it could be debatable.
Debatable.
Yeah. Like I'm talking purely stock from factory. No coilovers, no exhaust, no tune, no bullshit.
Pound for pound out of the box.
Pound for pound out of the box. I know in what's it called? Production class at CSCS. Are you allowed to do handling mods?
You're allowed to do up to a certain amount. So you're allowed to do tires. You're allowed to do one-way coilovers. You're allowed to do anything that can be bolted on and removed, basically. Right? I see. When you go into a street class, it's typically a more higher like.
That's a very gray subject.
Well, I mean,
whatever can be bolted on or removed. So I can like bolt on a rocket engine to my car. It theoretically could be removed.
Technically, but at the same time, it has to still be stock motor. Right?
Okay, so nitrous.
So nitrous is actually bad. If you actually look at it.
The hell?
Yeah, because you don't need it. Why do you need it? You don't need it.
Yeah, turbo. Bolt on and removable.
No. It has to come the way that, so you can only remove stuff that came with the car, so you can't turbocharge your BRZ and expect it to be in production because there was no production BRZ with a turbo. But and even then, I think I remember reading some of the road books now that like the only thing you can't really actually upgrade the turbos. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you cannot upgrade a turbo to a certain extent. You can only put on a turbo that is say. Within factory specifications, which is where it's great, right? Because there's a lot of hybrid turbos nowadays, which is like stock turbo housing,
but built internals.
Yeah, like like the fins are a little smaller, so it theoretically builds a little bit more boost in the same housing, so theoretically creates more power, stuff like that, right? But ultimately, it's a matter of. I do think that ultimately it does come down to skills half the time, most of the time, not even half the time, most of the time.
I feel like where do you draw the line between horsepower rating where it doesn't matter about the car, it just matters purely skill? Like if someone has 100 horsepower and another car has 160, I personally think that if you put a really shit driver in a 160 horsepower car and a really good driver in the 100 horsepower car, the good driver in the 100 horsepower car will definitely beat the guy with the
always.
That's what I think.
Proven.
It is proven. The problem is like what threshold do you
Don't mind
think?
me.
Yeah. Grab your tea. This is what it's here for.
It is dirty.
What threshold do you believe is too much power for the good guy that cannot keep up anymore? Like, do you think it's 100 versus 200 horsepower, or 100 versus 250 horsepower? And we're not talking about drag racing here. We're not talking about straight line racing. We're talking about circuit racing.
Well, are we talking about the same exact car but with different horsepower rating?
Mm-hmm.
See, as the thing is, eventually...
Same car. No. Same car, just different horsepower rating.
It eventually gets to the point where, like, where does a chassis restriction lies, right? Because there's a lot of factors, not just horsepower rating. Like, theoretically, if you look at, like, modern day, like, SUVs, right? They're, like, 300 horsepower plus cars now.
Oh, yeah.
But you have, like, it cannot drive the same way as, like, a BRZ. Right? Yeah, sure, in a straight line, off the light, if you guys decide to do like a little, drag and a pull, the SUV is going to be a little faster, right? All-wheel drive, V6, more torque, everything compared to BRZ. But if you put it on track, different purpose, right? Yeah. It's not going to behave the same. It's just not going to work the same way. It's really hard to say that, especially when you put it in a sense of like a actual like pro or someone with like high level of driving capabilities. Yeah, it's a very hard, tough question to actually get a correct answer to. I think I saw on not Motor Trend, Haggerty with Jason Camisa. Yeah, and it was him against Randy Post. Randy was just driving circles around him, easy, no problem. Give him like 30-second head start, not a problem, because Randy is a professional driver. Yeah. Whereas Jason Camisa is just a car reviewer, right? A very highly respected car reviewer. I wish that's something I could work with him. But anyhow, the point is like it's hard to say. It's not something that can just be as black and white as can a shitbox with a professional driver be better than a Ferrari with a novice? Hard to say, right? Yeah. Also, what's the track like? Track layout is very important. If it's hypothetically using our own local tracks, let's say Cayuga, power hungry track, 2 long straights. If you hit 200 kilometers an hour, that's wicked fast. I don't remember the last time my BRZ can hit past like 170 on a straight. I don't even think it hit 170. I think like 155, and I had to back up, and I'm like,
you just get to end.
You're at the end. Like you could. I mean, theoretically, if you're ballsy enough, you could. But I'm not, and I just like. I know where the car limitation lies in terms of power, and I'm like, even then, maybe I'll squeeze out to 160, 165, maybe. Yeah. But like, say like a Supra will run circles around the BRZ all day, out of the box. Not talking about modifying, because a heavily modified BRZ can keep up with a rather stock Supra. Yeah. But then once you put money into the Supra, different ball game. Because I think my favorite red TA90 owner, Jackie Ding, he's running like what, 113 now on TMP last time he came?
I think the record right now for TMP is a Supra.
It's a purple one from AI, right?
No, it's not AI.
YD?
So actually the purple one from AI is my cousin, Stefano Lucente. Okay. He races for the AI performance team. And he races in the purple unlimited Supra. But no, there's a black Supra.
I think it's YD's then. Is one of the YD performance?
I'm not
YD
sure. I know there was a lot of gossip, or there was a lot of controversy for when that car put the fastest lap time in. But it's running. I think like 110. Yeah,
112 maybe. 112.
No, it's 110. It's 110. Ooh. Yeah, it's some crazy ass. It's and surprisingly, it doesn't have as much aero as the purple Supra from AI Performance.
Oh, really?
It's more of a stocker body, but like a heavily performance done up, probably handling and some performance engine mods. But it's interesting to see that I guess the Mark V Supra definitely is a great platform for the track. Now it is kind of like.
It's one of those apples to oranges again.
It's one of those apples to oranges, but it's also one of those things where it's like, if you're rich enough or if you have enough money, you just buy it and you're automatically fast. You're automatically at the front running. You know what I mean? So it's difficult for people like me or other people that, don't have that budget, that it only could buy their like lower end builds. And then, like we can maybe set records or try to set records in our own divisions or classes. But it's difficult if we want to be compared to those types of guys, because it's like we just don't have the opportunities to do that, right? But that's a whole different other topic.
Yeah. Realistically, I mean, those guys that did it they have a goal in mind, so
Yeah.
money is no object.
Right.
But in hindsight, I think that you should just, if you want to do it, just do it and do it to the best capability that you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to be, you know, the fastest XYZ on TMP,
Yeah.
you know, are you capable of doing it, right? Like, if you think you can, then go for it by all means, right? No one's stopping you.
There's so many different records you could go for. You could go for personal record, specific car record, division record,
Again,
overall record.
Why not? It's a question of like, if you really want to,
If you can achieve it, yeah, then why not?
Uh-huh.
It's just difficult, I guess, for some of these younger guys or some of these guys that don't have the budget to like dream it and not be able to do it. It kind of sucks, but
yeah, I mean, always like take it with every step, right? Take it with baby steps 1st right? Like, at least show up to the track. Like,
no, you got to put the time in, you got to put the work in, put the effort in. At least prove to yourself that you are willing to make a change or that you're willing to progress to something.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I personally just like to do it for just for the sake of doing it. I don't have a personal best or anything. I don't record it, but like I just like you can just start off with that, right? Just casually go and just, you know, what is it like to drive your car on a track as fast as you can, right?
Yeah.
Like, try that first. Like, don't always have to be about the guts and glory of it all, you know? Like, it's not always about being the fastest. It's about having fun sometimes.
No, and at the end of the day, like, that's the most important part, I think. There's a lot of people that get consumed by, like, the whole point of, like, I want to always be the best. And I want to be better. And at the end of the day, it's like, we all got into this for a specific reason. It's because we have an extreme amount of passion and dedication for not only the sport, but for cars in general.
I just want to see the car move, man.
Well, hey, man, like, it's there's very few people out there that compete at a very high level that succeed, and they're just pure of heart, where it's like, I just love what I do. I do this because it's my enjoyment. I do this because, you know, like, you know, I want to prove to either my family or friends or peers that, you know, like, this is something that I've worked very hard to achieve. Because at the very beginning stages, it's very difficult. It's like, no one really wants to believe in you. Everyone's like, oh, racing's like, you know, why are you going to pour your money into a car, let alone to make it nice, but to make it go fast at a professional series? You know what I mean? Like, you'll get a lot of doubters at the beginning. So, like, just to prove that at the very end, be like, hey, guys, like, I was actually able to accomplish something. It probably means a lot, not only to that specific person, but then it helps them as well, like, build that confidence to, like, continue and achieving more. You know what I mean? But yeah, like you said, it always comes at a step at a time. You know, that's extreme. No, but you can't reach for the top shelf at the first go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But moving on, one of the more, I wouldn't really say controversial topics, just because I think there's a mass majority of the car scene that feels the same way about this topic.
Okay.
But when it comes to people on the street, and, you know, they're doing some upsetting things, some illegal things, that, you know, street racing, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And their excuse to why they don't take you to the track is because it's either too far, too expensive. I don't even know what other excuse they have half the time. What would you say to that? Where do you stand on that discussion? Like, give us a little bit about your opinions, your thoughts, and yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that they're wrong, because let's be real. Let's say you live in city core.
Yeah.
That Toronto, Scarborough.
Yeah.
GTA.
Yeah.
No matter which way you go, east or west, all right, it's gonna be at least an hour to 2 hours.
Yeah, I believe from Toronto, Mosport's about an hour and 25 minutes.
In the morning and without traffic, it's about 50 minutes. Yeah. You take a 407, it's like 45. But like, say Cayuga, for example, from here.
Cayuga's a solid 2 hours.
It's like with traffic, because usually, you know, you're gonna hit traffic.
Well, if we're going CSCS, like, even for a the show and shine, not only the track. I know track people got to be there a lot earlier, but for show and shine, we're there for like 9 to 10 a.m. And usually we're not hitting traffic because it's really early in the morning. Like, we're leaving by 7, 8 o'clock. It's not as bad, and it's on a Sunday too. So that's why. I would definitely agree with you if it's during the week. like Monday to Friday,
Mm-hmm.
if you're traveling at those times, yeah, the traffic's gonna be really
But
heavy.
if you think about it, though, it's still an hour and a half away, right?
It's still an hour and a half.
And if you look at Shannonville, it's a solid 2 hours without traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shannonville was definitely a hard drive.
Yeah.
Like for this year, lucky that we actually entered the Shannonville run, and I thought in my head I was like, I could drive 2 hours there and back, no problem, man. And luckily I didn't listen to my dumb ass, because even driving half an hour there and back for like 3 days consecutively was tiring.
No, hey, trust me. Yeah.
But in the to bring it back to the topic of like how people that doesn't on the street, whatever, they're not wrong. It's just the idea of like, but at what extent are you willing to go through to get your moment of joy, right? Like street racing is dangerous, you know, because it's unregulated, right?
Of course.
It has no mandates, it has no marshals, there's a bunch of just free for all. What is street racing, right? Like there's no definitive to what street racing is other than just aggressive driving on the streets, right?
Of course.
Oh yeah, actually, there might be a racetrack opening up closer in Ajax. I think Porsche. Barrie, yeah,
Barrie.
one of them. Like I think Porsche is gonna make it.
Now, in my argument,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of these guys that do these street racing or illegal stuff on the
Mm-hmm.
street, they also attend a lot of these car shows, like the show and shines, regardless of whatever shows attend. Like
the runs was a big deal, yeah.
right. So, you know as well as I do, car shows, they can happen all over the GTA.
Yeah.
And we find ourselves usually traveling anywhere from half an hour to an hour for an event.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we want to go to an import fest or an import expo event, it's an hour, or it's 45 minutes, right? If we want to go
Mm-hmm.
to a CSCS show and shine, it's
Mm-hmm.
at Cayuga. If it's at Mosport, it's still an hour and a half,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. So if they're willing just to go for a show, then why wouldn't they be willing to go for a track day?
See, a show is easy because you go, you pay your entrance fee, you look at cars.
Okay.
What, no brainer.
Okay.
But when it comes to tracking, there's a lot involved, right? Show up to the track, cool. Now I got to drive on track. That's cost money.
But that's the whole point.
Exactly, but here's the deal. It's like it is. I'm not saying that like I'm for street racing. Nothing like that at all.
No, of course.
But I'm saying the fact that like I can see why, because even for myself, right? Like I did the math. For me to go DDT, to properly set up the car, fuel, maintenance, everything to make sure, it basically cost me anywhere from $600 to $1,000 a day, depending on what I need to do. Right?
So you're going to DDT. So it's funny you say that because actually this summer, I took a little personal trip to Cayuga. Actually, not even summer, early spring.
Okay.
Before, like the first day Cayuga had a dry open lapping day, I believe it was early March.
Okay.
No snow on the ground. There was snow around, no snow on the ground. I took my Legacy GT wagon, my blue one, and I said, you know what? I'm going to put this to the test. So I filled the car up to full when I left. I left from Bolton. Bolton is about an hour, 45-minute drive from Cayuga. My car filled up for $75.
That's cheap.
It was the COVID prices, remember?
Oh, okay, so this is before this year, because this year is no way.
No, it was this year.
No way, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how small your tank is, because my beer was taking $100 a tank.
No, it was early March this year.
I don't know where you get your gas plug is. Let me know.
No, it was like an Esso in Bolton.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so $75 to fill up. Meanwhile, my car, it's turbo. It drinks a lot of gas. So by the time I got to Cayuga, I was already down a quarter. Right?
That's nice.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It was, but okay, now listen to this. So I go to Cayuga. It was $60
To enter?
to enter.
Oh, wow, okay, that's nice.
Yeah. I don't know if they had a promotion going on because it was the first official dry
Because usually it's
open lapping.
$200.
Yeah, so actually they changed, I'm pretty sure, because they've been doing a lot of 160 days.
Yes.
160.
Yeah.
So regardless of the 60, let's say it costed me 160.
Yeah.
Right? So it costed me $75 to fill up, another 160 to get in and track. I drove my car there. It was not my daily, but yeah, like my daily at the time. I drove it there. I took it on the track for, I was at the track for about 4.5, 5 hours. Pretty decent day. Just for, I went there for fun. I drained the tank on the track. Drained it. When I left, I had to obviously go to the gas station, which was down the street from Cayuga.
Mm-hmm.
I filled up again, say 85, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. And then I drove home. Right. And okay, let's factor in lunch. Spend another $25 on lunch. Right. So in total aspect, I didn't spend more than $300 roughly. Or no, sorry, I spent around
400.
400.
Yeah, 400
right.
bucks.
And that was purely based off of gas and the entry fee.
Yeah.
And then a $25 lunch.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So I know it's expensive. I'm not saying it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But if people want to argue the fact that it's like outrageously expensive, I feel like it depends. Like, I know you're spending more because you're a little bit more into the full track vibe, and like there's certain things that you do your car that a normal guy to track his car just for fun for an open lapping wouldn't do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's different procedures, so I understand why you're spending more money. But for someone that just wants to go for an open lapping just to shit, the guys that are on the street doing illegal shit or whatever, those guys aren't going to be doing the same steps that you're doing with their adjusting and doing this and whatever bullshit, because they couldn't care less, because they're already doing it on the street with their own parents' car or their own car,
whatever it is,
that's stock as fuck or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? So they're willing to travel to car shows, half an hour to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So they're willing to pay for a gas tank right there, right? They're also willing to pay a minimum of $100 to enter their vehicle, because that's what, especially this year, $100 has been the average.
Oh, really?
Oh, there's been more shows. The last show at the Hot Wheels Midnight Club show, the Halloween one, was $100 to enter.
Oh, wow.
Right? Car. When you talk about Import Fest, you talk about Import Expo, it's $150.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of these events that are coming up like this that are $100 minimum or $100 average. So you spend the full tank of gas. Let's say it's $80. Then $100 entry fee, and then a $25 lunch, and then you remember you go to these shows. There's a lot of vendors there, so the odd chance that they're gonna buy merch, they're probably gonna spend, I'd say, anywhere from $20 to $50 on merch.
They call it up to $100. Call it whatever.
Right, because nowadays a lot of vendors are selling T-shirts for like $50, which is a ridiculous price, but they do it. They get away with it. It is what it is. So let's say they spend, like, I'm gonna be generous. Let's say they spend $50 on merch shit, right? Which nowadays only gets you a T-shirt, but let's just think they got a couple things. They spent close to the 100, 180 plus a $25 lunch. That's $2 something plus the $50. That's $250. They spent around $250, give or take, right? So for an extra $50 to an extra $100. They gotta have a full 6 to 8 hour track day, right?
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, at that point, if they're already spending that much money just to go to a car show and not do stupid shit with their car, I just don't understand why they can't just put that same amount of money to do stupid shit with their car. And it's not the sense of where it's like, it's not in the sense where it's like I care that much because of like maybe like where they're doing it or why they're doing it or whatever. It's more the fact that it's just like the safety environment is more concerning for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it usually happens on very public roads.
Yeah,
and the last
guy that wrote him off last time. Like,
exactly. And the last thing is the endangerment of other people.
Yeah.
I think that's my number one priority when it comes to this topic, is the endangerment of other people. And the second highest priority is the effect it has on the rest of the community. I think those are my two main topics, or my two main points. Yeah. Right? Because then it looks bad on all of us as a community, right? And then tracks kind of deteriorates in reputation, because nobody wants to go to the track anymore because everyone's doing stupid shit. And then regardless if you go to the track or not, and you're a good person, you go to church every Sunday, you're still going to be put into that same category because you drive a modified vehicle, right? And that's the whole point I go for. I was like I said before, I don't have a problem with anybody if they want to do this foolery in a industrial area in the back parking lot of an industrial warehouse or whatever bullshit, go nuts, go wild, do your thing, right?
Snow drifting.
Like,
Hey.
like just do your thing, and keep it to yourselves or whatever. But where I have an issue is like when they want to do it on public roads, and it's a huge safety concern. And God forbid if anything happens, which it's been proven in the past, not only this year, last year, the year before that, where things get out of hand and shit happens, right? Because everybody in his white BMW thinks, like he's Michael Schumacher again. And, he's got some girl in the car. He's got some baddie that he wants to impress. You know what I mean? So, and shit happens. And then, police get involved. We're on the news saying like everyone with a modified car, modified people have been doing this and that, and then it just looks bad on all of us. You know what I mean? We go to shows like Import Fest and Import Expo downtown Toronto. Cops are lined up for when we leave that show, because they target us all.
You see, the thing is though, those people that do go to those shows are not the same people that will be running the streets, right? Like a lot of times the people that enter the show cars or even the track cars, typically on the streets, they're more calm and tame. The ones that you normally refer to are the ones that just goes and attends the show.
No, yes, and I agree with that statement as well.
Yeah,
the guys that are tracking their cars and the guys that are like the heavy hitter show cars, they're not doing that stupid shit on the street because their cars are so recognizable and they can't afford to lose that reputation.
It's the clapped out, TL and the clapped out, Honda Civics with a rusted like quarter panel. Think of their SI. Right?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because think of it. My car is a banana boat. Right?
Yeah, imagine you were doing that.
As soon as my car would get spotted at a takeover event, everyone would know who I was.
Exactly.
Right.
So just to go back to your topic, right? Of that, it's hard to say like, if you're talking about like that aspect, there's no way of going around it other than just having police presence and stuff. And it's just unfortunate that true enthusiasts, like true car enthusiasts, are the ones that get shafted the most.
We do,
right? Yeah. But it's one of those moments where like I wish that there could be more that could be done, but right at the moment there's not much that is done other than just having more police like activity. Example, Project Erase, and what's the new one that they had? Like something about,
I don't know, but like the problem is even with police there, I'm in full support of the police, and if they want to force wrongdoings in the community and whatnot, but especially after some of the videos released from the Sega H2I incident where the police go and they don't even try to be aggressive, they just try to organize it or just make sure, because there's traffic jams, flow of traffic, and then just, shit happens. Yeah. People start throwing shit at cops for no reason. They destroy their vehicles.
But again, those were not the show guys. Those were the guys that showed up.
The
guys.
hooligans. Exactly. Right? And then it's funny how some of these big names in the community will go to these events. Maybe H2I was Sega in specific. And they'll video it or like Instagram live or Instagram story, whatever bullshit, right? And it's like just by doing that, I think you're enabling the situation. You're promoting something that you shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like you're actively showing the community
this is okay.
That this is
part of it.
This is part of it. Yeah, this is. It's okay. It's just part of it. It's just like it's a little side thing. You know what I mean? It's a side dish that comes with it. You know what I mean? Like it's like no, this is not a side dish that comes with this.
It's just again, we can't.
It's not a side effect. This is just someone's own stupidity and idiotic mentality that they think that this is cool and that this is all right and this is justifiable. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, hopefully, especially because I did see, I got pulled over about 4 times this year, and they were all related to on why my car was so yellow. And it's because my car is registered as black, but my car is wrapped yellow, which is legal, by the way. A lot of people say it's not, but
if it's the color of the car, not the color of what it's based on. Yes.
Well, no, it's if it's permanent or not.
Yes.
So a wrap's not permanent, so you don't have to change your color on your ownership.
Technically, yes.
Right? If you want to, you might get a really shitty cop. and he might really want to.
Because this is a very gray line, though, we're talking about.
You know what? Like I said, you might get a really, really shitty cop, and you might want to ruin your day because he's not feeling so good. But with my personal encounters with OPP this year, all right, there were 4 different officers. One was female. The other 3 were all differing in age, and they were all very respectful. And, you know, they enjoyed the vehicle for what it was, and they just asked a simple couple questions. You know, they weren't hassling me for anything. And I was very polite, very respectful, and I've been on my way, right? But based off of what I've experienced this year, I feel like the cops are starting to understand. Like, I think they're more involved in social media, and I feel like the actual true car enthusiasts, the police have seen our social media, and they've been like, you know what, not all these guys are whack jobs. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, they can identify us now because like the guys with the crazy build cars, there might be a little bit easier because they might be like, okay, well, this guy spent so much money on this car. I don't think he's really willing to fuck it up because, you know, he wants to get laid tonight. You know what I mean? It's very simple. All right. So I think that cops are starting to come a long way. I think they're using social media to help them kind of differ the fact that, you know, not all of us are in this bad predicament and we're not all the same type of people.
Yeah, for sure.
They could go after the clapped cars all they want. But that's just the way I view it right now, you know, and we have only time can tell. I'm excited to see what next year brings. Hopefully a lot more peace to the car scene. Hopefully a lot more calmness and more legitimateness to, you know, what the car scene is about. You know, with either if it's events or meets or shows, track days, whatever you want to call it. You know, as long as we all come together, enjoy each other for the same purpose, the passion of, you know, enjoying cars, either if you want to track it, show it, whatever, build it, do your thing. You know what I mean? That's the point. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna sip some tea right now.
He was like, man, that was a lot of work for you.
That was a lot of words. I don't usually use words in my vocabulary.
English is tough, guys.
Yeah, man. I just use my hand signals. I'm a natural born Italian. Oh, hey.
That's easy.
Oh.
Certo. Come to look at the Marcello.
No, how about that? Yeah, no. I mean, I hope for the car community to, how do you say this? The car community, the people that are actually in it for the hobby and the actual interest of cars, those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Like, those are the good ones. It's those ones that are like, oh yeah, I like cars. What's that Ferrari over there, guys? That's a Acura NSX. Oh, it's not a Ferrari. It's typically.
I feel like you get the ignorant, and you also get the people that are just uneducated. Like if they're younger and they're uneducated,
that's fine. I
understand.
That's fine. NSX are out of realistically, they're classics now. I understand, but I'm saying in the sense of like those guys that say that they are true car guys. I mean, you know, like those
no one. I think with this day of age, since like not only social media is super big, but like a lot of people get called out. You can't be fake. You can't say you're a car guy and you're not.
But there are a lot
guy.
of fakes out there.
I'm sure there's a lot of fakes. You know what I mean?
I mean, I hate to be that guy that says it like this, but I deal with enough people that don't know about the cars and they pretend they do, and I'm just looking at them like.
Say it as it is. It's the way it is.
You can ask a question, but I don't think your Ford is supposed to be a Honda. You know?
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, but again, it's one of those same kind of crowd that would tend to destroy, or destroy is a strong word, but tend to bring a bad rep.
Put a stain on the image of.
It's a stain on my fresh white tee. You know, and that's the thing, right? It's like those are the people that we have to be more wary of. But at the same time, those are the people that needs to acknowledge that you're affecting people by being ignorant. Right? Ignorant is bliss, but you can't be ignorant all your life, especially when you want to be in something, right? You know, like I'm not gonna be just because I watch a few animes here and there doesn't make me like an anime guru, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Like I watch Spy Family, guys. Like, what does that make me? I'm just that new guy that's just like, oh, that's cute. I want to watch it, right?
I only watch anime in dub. I'm gonna be for real. I don't even enjoy anime in the actual Japanese.
But then we're not gonna be like, oh yeah, we're like true anime fans and stuff. Well, no, I just happen to like anime, you know? Like I
just want to watch Pokemon, man. Leave me alone.
Well, I want to watch my One Piece, you know? I want to watch Luffy
literally
like ass, you know?
like off topic. One Piece is my favorite anime.
Okay.
And then I think second coming in, I think would be Baki.
Oh, Baki?
And then third would be Initial D.
Oh, I'm sorry. Initial D is life now.
It's life.
To be fair, it's because Initial D brought me into this hobby. Plus, I grew up with it.
You know what it is? I think One Piece is just an amazing anime. But usually I tend to get the theme songs that kind of draw me in.
Yeah.
Actually, Berserk was a great anime.
I don't even know what that is.
It is great. But I'm starting. So the reason why Initial D has a great Euro track beat, which is great for driving, all these car lovers love the Euro beat.
Justifies.
But lately, I don't know why, but the JoJo Bizarre Adventures theme song, Dio's theme song, has been stuck in my head lately.
That's just your ADHD, bro.
It's just like
it's not stuck in my head,
bothering me. All right, and it's catchy, so that's the problem. So. Okay. It's gonna be like a rank number 4, but regardless, little anime side talk there.
But well, I was bringing it up as a reference, saying that I'm not gonna be like that guy that comes up to some guy's face who was actually like devoted into the the art and all that stuff. Like, no, what's the best Initial D? Because I got it's not the best, but it was good for me because nostalgia, and also I'm into cars, so it's just kind of like, an anime about cars. That's what makes it.
They go hand in hand sometimes.
Exactly,
especially with the Japanese culture. A lot of these Japanese guys. But you know what? In all fairness, I'd have to say, 85%. I'd like to say 85% of the car community, especially in the Japanese. No, you know what? No, not even in Japanese. In just car community in general, I'd say they watch anime. Because it's very popular right now in this day of age. Yeah. But it also goes hand in hand with the Japanese car culture and all that stuff. So I'm gonna just make that assumption out there. So I'm probably right. I'm not gonna have to look that up.
But it's the similar kind of people like that, and the car community is what's gonna be the problem that we face, and it is what it is. It's honestly, it's just realistically shitty people doing a great activity or a hobby, right? And that's one thing that it's hard to fix unless us as we proclaim ourselves true enthusiasts have to be not gatekeep, but in a sense set the rules, set the boundaries. Like,
we try to. Yeah. And you know what? I think you're right. I think hopefully with time, the guys that are doing it right, they'll pave a path for the younger generation.
I hope so.
I think the worst part that I see in my mind is that the younger generation falls victim to this takeover culture.
Oh yeah.
And they indulge themselves in it. And then I'm like, great, we just lost the younger generation, because now the people coming up underneath us are not going to be there for the right reasons. They're not going to be wanting to go to this Import Fest show or Import Expo or whatever you want to, or they don't want to go to track days like CSCS or Ontario Time Attack, or they don't want to they just want to do dumb shit. And that's worst case scenario. But I'm hoping that not only myself, but other people in the car community, because there's a lot of us, that we do it for the right reasons, the passion, the love for it.
Hopefully.
And the respect that, the younger generation sees, and they know that, this is the proper way. You know what I mean?
It's just all about the foundation, right? And unfortunately, we don't have... A hobby does not have a foundation.
No.
It's a collective of people that likes a similar... thing.
Everyone has their own opinion, which they're entitled to, but the problem is it just leaves a lot of argumentative areas, which isn't fair enough, which is everything.
I think the only thing that realistically we as car enthusiasts can do is just to voice the takeovers are not cool, but at the same time understand that from their perspective as well, why they go and attend and why they go and see. And sometimes you just can't you can't save all of them. Not everyone needs to be saved. Not everyone deserves to be saved. Not everyone can be saved.
Yeah.
And we just have to accept with that, right? So I just hope for the better future, honestly. As long as we stay in our lanes and we do the right things. Hang on, just yes. As long as you're doing the right things, then we're good. There's going to be a few bad apples in the barrel. We just gotta learn how to pluck them out, right?
Yeah, gotcha, bitch. 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, I think if we don't give them attention, they'll realize real quick that me doing this doesn't get me attention anymore, so I gotta find something else.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Ever since Takeover has kind of died down, even you know, like it's dying down a little bit more.
It is.
I
And
see
it's
it
good.
less.
It's good. It's good because it was on quite a hype in 2019.
I do not want to be a part of that again. That was annoying.
And yeah, it was like, if you watched my last podcast, I did like, you saw the one with Spoke?
Yeah.
So there was like a whole thing where I was like, I came home just so pissed that I just wanted to like, whatever. But like, yeah.
Oh.
Let's just not go through that again.
Want to hear a good meme?
Yeah, we got memes? What's the meme?
It's more like a story. My story is a meme. So basically, it's a few years back, at least 4 years ago, right?
Okay.
So when Takeover was just starting to come up, and then when it was starting to get busted, right? Because I knew of a guy that's associated with it, people thought I went to jail with him because he got caught. So he got caught. Like, he literally was on headline news.
Yeah, he was one of those guys.
Yeah, he was getting chased down. Like, they even had, like, you know, freaking, like, the helicopter cam like following him through and him get busted.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that I was with him at that time because I was around him.
Buddies, whatever.
Yeah. And then I went silent because it was just during the Christmas holiday. So I went silent. I went mute. Yeah. Like, I'm busy with things. Like, don't talk to me. Don't find me. Like, everybody's like out of my way. So people didn't hear from me. I wasn't active on the community group and stuff. Everyone automatically thought that because that happened, that I was a part of it, and I got caught and got thrown in jail with him. And I was like,
damn.
I wasn't even there. I saw it when I was eating my T-bone steak, bro. Like, you know?
That's the problem is, like, you associate guilty by association.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, right. But again, is he? I hate to set him as an example, but was he a true car guy? No, he just happens to be a guy that likes cars, but he also likes doing dumb shit with cars, right? And those are the kind of people that would ruin the hobby and the community for us.
No, 100%.
But if we can, you know, accept everyone and like be a little bit more. Because this does happen more often than I would like it to. If you go to a car meet, do you notice that there's a lot of cliques? Like, everybody has their own clique. Like, everyone
little group.
Yeah, right.
And nobody interest. Yeah, and nobody wants to go to a different one.
Even if they go, they're disrespecting the other ones.
They feel like they think that they're better. Right? Yeah, they think. So like, we could take this actually in a lot of different ways actually, and actually I'm gonna tie this in. I had one more topic, but now I have two topics for that answer. So like, between different car clubs, different car groups, they feel like they're better, so they got to prove themselves to be better.
But why?
You could even say the same about specific platforms. Now, not pointing fingers here, but your platform tends to bring the most drama to the scene.
Hey, man.
And before your generation used to be the Honda Civics, though the OGs. But now
the BRZ gang, bro.
BRZ, FRS, 86.
See, again,
you guys are the epiphany of drama in the car scene currently.
We are the drama.
So
sad boy hours.
being a owner of that platform, what is your view on that? Because I know you probably are very aware with it, especially at big car shows or even at track days. I'm actually not aware of it as much as track days. I am aware of it a lot at car shows. Your thoughts, opinions, and your views on the drama on your own platform, the 86, BRZ, and FRS platform.
It comes down to, again, like, the BRZ is a very multifaceted platform in the sense that it was a great looking car, but it's also a very capable track car, right? And the drama in itself is funny because the track guys don't appreciate the stance guys, and the stance guys don't like those wannabes, right?
Yeah.
That's where most of the drama actually happens. It usually is when the track guy and the stance guys are just having like a little quarrel, like, why you have 10 degrees of camber but you can't get over a speed bump? And then those guys, I think that those cars are cool, but they have no idea what it actually is. And those are the ones that like tend to, in my opinion, create the most drama.
Okay.
All due respect, right? I think Mr. 86 Sensei is my favorite example.
Justin,
yes.
Errors.
I love him. I love him. You know why?
He's got a very beautiful car. When I first saw his car for the first time, I love the guy. I never met him in person. One day I will. No. I met him all the time. He's a great guy.
I need to meet him. Like, here's the thing. He is exactly the example that I want to use in a good way. Because he literally made that 86 the way that he wanted it because why not? Because I can, for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's also obviously people that enjoy that car. Me myself, I'm like, damn, that's sick. As a truck guy, I really shouldn't be saying stuff like that, but I do because when it's aesthetically pleasing, it looks nice. It looks nice.
Well,
but it's those guys that don't like that were like defending him for no reason, and you can see it himself. And like he replies to those idiots too. Like I watch it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's like it's those guys that ruin it because. The track guys will always poke fun at the stance guys because like you really put 18x11s on a car that can't fit 18x11s by putting these rubber band tires on, and he goes, yeah, because I can, so I will.
Yeah.
You have no reply to that at this point, realistically, right? And it's funny. It's actually humor. I think it's satire humor at this point where he is doing it for the sake of doing it, and it's getting him the attention that he wanted. That's why he's 86 Sensei, where I don't know him, but I know of him.
Yeah.
But it's those people that try to defend him. It's like, who are you? Like
they're just in it for the bandwagoner.
Yeah, they're literally like, oh, I follow his building is so clean. Like, shut up and your stupid track build clapped up, whatever. It's those guys that have the most opinion that's ruining it. Yeah. When they don't have, you know, that meme is like
the
those
keyboard warriors.
The keyboard warriors. Or those ones like, oh, they like, you know, they complain about people's rides being ugly, but they take the bus. Yeah. Right? It's those people that are ruining it, not necessarily the stands versus track guys. Yeah. Like we all get along. I show up to like car shows and I have plenty of friends. Mm-hmm. I go to the track and like track days, I have plenty of friends there. Yeah. They know, like, you know, my car's a great ass meme too, right? Like,
no,
you know,
of course.
It's like you, Yellow Banana, and you know, like
I think everyone that builds a car that's well known in the community is well known for a reason. Mm-hmm. And coming back to Justin's 86 Sensei car,
I love it.
When I first saw his car, I was like very questionable on the amount of camber he had. But I wasn't. I didn't dislike the car. I was just very questionable about the camber. And as I kept on looking at the car and then getting to know Justin, and then now seeing at the car in one of its final stages with the Blitz wheels and the nice livery on it. I saw it at Import Expo Closer this year.
Oh, nice.
You know, it's a very beautiful car, and you know, I do enjoy the car. Yes, in my opinion, it still has some excessive camber.
I wouldn't do it.
But I wouldn't do it, but he built it the way he wants to see it.
I like
and
it.
I think just by looking at the car as a visual art form, it looks very beautiful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But then like, you know, a function is something totally different. It's whatever. But coming from a visual standpoint, I can sit there and I can admire the car and say it's very beautiful.
Honestly, this is exactly.
And the problem is like, I think you're right about the people that like, you know, like the guys that like take the bus don't even have cars. They're causing a lot of the issue.
They're the ones that I have a problem with.
But I find that the track guys, maybe it's because I don't have a lot of experience with guys with the platform in the track world. Yeah. But for my personal experience this year alone in the show world, for some reason that platform, the 86 BRZ FRS platform, has a lot of drama. And it's for cars it's between cars that are built, like fully built. Well, and I don't know why. It's like, I feel like there's more tension, and I don't know why. And I'm just trying to get the words to put it out there. See, it's just very difficult to understand.
Here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. So I'm gonna quote a very famous saying from one of my friends that I know, Mr. Richard at GZOX. Okay. This is what he said to me. There's a measurement of how fast you are. Okay. Measurement is, you know, time, right? Yeah. If you can do a 120 compared to a guy that's a 121, you're faster. Even if it's 120.1 and you're doing 120, you're faster. Yeah. How do you quantize? Like, how do you like put it on a scale of how cool or how good a car looks?
You are. Yeah.
It's subjective. It's not objective. It's subjective, right? So like those guys, that's where like the sand seems to me. Mind you, I'm probably gonna get flamed for this.
It's not even stand scene, just people that show builds. Yeah,
and it makes me laugh a lot. It's because of this reason. Just because someone built it to their taste and you don't like it doesn't mean that they have bad taste. Yeah, it just means that you guys have different tastes. Right? So I'm gonna, if you're gonna talk about two like stand stuff BRZs and car shows, Whitney's car, I actually thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, I wouldn't do it the same way just because it's a little. I'm a little fruity. Like I get made fun of for being fruity. Yeah. I love the like hard tail light that she had. Hey man, I love it. I honestly like that's cute. But I personally wouldn't do it. But I think it's a very a good looking car.
Good looking car, and I think you know, knowing Whitney Chase for a very long time. Don't look at my wall over my bed because I have her T-shirts hanging.
You biased bastard. I'm kidding.
We've known each other for a very long time. Whitney, we actually were a part of the same car club when I first got into the car scene, Project 6. Yeah. And then, you know, we split ways on our own accords. We ended up meeting each other back at Team Cusha now.
Yeah, Cusha's great. Yeah.
So she's come a long way with her build. Obviously, I've come a long way with my build as well. Her car is a very like one-off car. I know her fenders are metal, like they're formed. She's got very
custom,
expensive,
right?
Very custom.
Yeah.
She's got the Varus front bumper, custom wheels. I think it's a Varus rear bumper as well. You know, I think she's got a version 3 rear wide body. I'm not 100%. The numbers are out there, but anyways,
it's a nice car.
It's not even a nice car. It's a very beautiful car,
Yeah.
and I think she's proven the fact that I think platform wise she's top 3 just because of
in terms of like stance, wide body.
No, just in terms of show build.
Yeah.
You know, not even the stats of hardware that she brings home proves it, but just like the overall car. Like, there's a lot of people in the community that just know the car and know her being like, that's what she's known for.
Yeah.
She's like top list. When, to put it this way, when someone shows up to a show in your category and now you are worried or afraid that you are not going to win a trophy in your category division, that's a top contender.
Yeah.
When Whitney Chase shows up to a show, everyone in her platform, if she's competing for Scion, because her car is Scion, so everyone in the Scion FRS category or Toyota category, I'm not, depending on the show how they put it, they're worried.
Yeah.
I could guarantee it, they're shaking in their boots because they know that car is extremely difficult to beat. It's just so well built. Everything's been touched. Trunk setup, interior,
it's on
exterior.
Bags too, right?
Yeah. So like, it's been touched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you have a car that's like that, then that when like you show up, it frightens people in your class because they know they're not going to win a trophy. You're a top contending vehicle.
That being said, though, like, see, my whole thing was like, as much as I appreciate and like Whitney's car, right? It's, if you ask me which is there a better looking one out there, I would actually
I would agree, and at the same time, because I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I don't like her color, but I wouldn't say if I had her car I would use that same color.
I would,
and I wouldn't use her same rims, and I wouldn't use her taillights.
I would not do what she did,
and I wouldn't use airlift. I would use Prozis because Prozis is the best.
Sell out?
No, I'm not sell.
Sell out.
I'm not. Prozis is life. All right.
Michael, I love you.
Yeah.
But no, well, just to make sure that, like, you know, I'm not trying to like say that her car is bad. I like it, but I wouldn't do it myself, and I think that there are better out there. But look, if I said this on the internet, someone's gonna be like, "You just got no taste."
Yeah, no, 100%.
And then the bandwagon. I'm not saying like, you know, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Whitney's car's better than everybody else's." There's gonna be someone that will say that to
There's a lot of cars out there. There's a lot of cars out there right now, especially in that platform, that are very well built. I could name 5 off, or probably more than 5 off the top of my head right now that are like top tier contender cars in the going for shows.
Yeah,
I can name Whitney is number 1. I'm not gonna say number 1, but Whitney is one of them. I could say Julian is Ghosted. All the fanboys. No, I can say Julian from Ghosted BRZ. He's another one.
Yes, Ghosted BRZ was actually another one that I like. Much as that, like again,
there's things about his car that I like a lot. There's also things that if I would have had that car, I wouldn't do. It's everyone's subjective.
My BRZ is exactly what I won't do. So.
Exactly right, and Militia with the blue BRZ. The wide body one, I believe her
light blue.
Yeah, it's a light blue with gold wheels.
Yeah.
Her car is very beautiful. It's been around for a little bit. Very, very clean, but yet very, very beautiful build. And there was a green one at Import Fest this year, a Lexus front end, green paint,
dark green,
the olive green. Metallic. Very beautiful car. I don't know if it's still around. It was actually on Facebook Marketplace a few months ago for sale, $30K. I don't know, but that was a beautiful car. Romeo Rogue Shinobi with the black wide body.
I think Romeo's car looks better than Whitney's car.
I would have to disagree. And that's fine. I love Romeo's car. I've known Romeo actually for a very long time.
I need to meet him.
You've never met him?
I think I ran into him a few times, but we never had an exchange of words. Make a cross paths.
For someone so into the car scene, I tend to know more people than you.
I don't.
Apparently.
As much as I'm very sociable, or I socialize a lot, I don't talk to a lot of people unless they approach me, because I call it insecurities, but I just don't feel like, you know, I belong half the time. But besides the point, I know that car you're talking about, and I think that car does, in my personal opinion, right?
It's a beautiful car. Like I said, I've known Romeo for a long time. I've seen the car.
Also, do you know an Orangey? A BRZ FRS? Leo. Leo's my boy, but
yes, I know
yeah,
Leo.
Yang, my boy.
I've seen it, but it looks. You know what? Okay, so
I like his car.
So it looks nice. Just to recap a little bit, I love Romeo's car.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't like about it is it's all black, and it
That's
makes
the whole point.
No. The point is that it doesn't show itself. For what it show wise, I love the car. I love what he's done with it. It just is too black.
Yeah.
That's my point. Leo, on the other hand, this is where we get into the whole topic of how I feel about your platform. Is they all look the same.
You're not wrong.
If you put all these cars in a line, they are all the same with different wheels and a different color.
It's true.
And that's why, like, the problem is with this platform is that I'm not saying the platform's basic at this point, but the people in the platform has turned these cars, these like, they're spending like 20 to 40K on all these mods. They've turned them into basic cars because they all look the same. Not saying they are. You could put the same money and the same mods into a different platform, rather if it's a, I don't know, a Subaru Legacy or a Honda Civic, or even though Honda Civic's already been done so many times, an Evo, a Skyline, a Supra. The problem is you can put all these cars side by side, they won't look the same, but for some reason...
You haven't been to Markham and look at Type R's.
No, I have.
They all look the same!
Type R, that's
the E37 starter pack!
That's why I said I had to take away the Civics, because the Civics was the OG car that always... look the same. There were so many things.
Hey.
There were so many things in the platform that was put out for them to be done. That's why. But
I disagree.
I appreciate every build out there, regardless of the platform, as long as it's done tastefully.
Yeah.
But I don't know why your platform is just there's too much repetitiveness
because you can only reinvent the wheel so many times,
and that's why it's hard. It's like that's why I have a lot of appreciation towards like Whitney, because there's a lot of one things on her car, because she knows she needs to stand out to be top dog. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
for sure. Her car is great. Again, her car is great. And like, to tell you the truth, like if I look at it, like the show cars and stuff, I cannot tell you the difference between the parts that they use realistically.
No, 100%. And you know what? Like there's cars, there's friends of mine that own the platform.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a shout out right now. Really close friend of mine. Oh no.
Like I literally have one.
Michael over here. Michael's a stock. Don't say anything.
Exactly. Stock as well.
A really close friend of mine.
Yeah.
His name's he's probably not gonna like this because he doesn't like these shout out things. But his name's Carlos. He is the owner of a 86. He's also known as Saga 86. It's the Peach 86. The one on white work wheels. He's a close friend of mine. He owns a very, very clean and beautiful car. Very tasteful, very form and function together in one. I do like his car. He does it to his own taste. He's not over the top. He's not like under the bar.
Just like Justin.
But he's just himself. I think Justin's I think he's over the top.
No. What?
I think just like camber wise, he's over the top.
Have you seen some people, man?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, from who I'm talking about, his build is very clean. It's very respectful. He's got a very respectful name in the community.
Yeah.
And he does his own thing. And kudos to him and kudos to what he does. It's just difficult with this platform to just stand out.
That's because it's a very popular platform.
It is, but you can argue an STI is a popular platform.
And they all look the same too. Have you not seen everybody trying to be a Type RA?
Actually, first of all, an unpopular opinion, I think Type RAs look like shit.
No, I'll fight you. I'll
say that right now.
That's the only one I like in this generation. That's the only one I like.
The newest one?
In the V8 chassis, the only STI, I guess, out of the box,
but it's
is Type RA.
But the Type RA is basically an extra $30,000 for a wing and wheels.
Yeah, because they're actually forged BBS wheels that are light in weight, and then that wing is actually functional.
But they're ugly as fuck.
Hey, listen, again, it's subjective.
It's subjective. You don't know.
They're BBSs, eh? They're BBSs. You want to call BBSs lame?
You know what? I'm gonna call them lame because I'm gonna call those specific BBSs lame. I'm gonna be real right now. I'm not paying $30,000 for an extra package that I'd rather spend half of that or a quarter of that price to buy nicer wheels or a different aero wing, like a chassis mount or something that would probably do more benefit for the vehicle.
Hold on.
All right.
The whole entire car was redeveloped, though. I mean, not redeveloped, but it has been improved throughout the entire chassis. And technically, the STI is $40K. So realistically,
I think the price range between a 2020 or 2021 STI to a 2020 or 2021 Type RA is the price gap. The price gap is not worth it. It comes with what, like an extra 40 horsepower?
Wait. Actually, if you look at 2019 model years, there are 50K STIs.
No. I'm basing it off of the same year. STI Type RA. That's what I'm basing it off of.
It's not that much more anymore. It used to be. I understand, but not anymore.
I know.
The market has changed.
Not anymore. But like for what you're getting, I guarantee you, people that buy Type RAs, they change the wheels out right away.
That's fine.
The guy who was at Import Expo, the season closer, he won Best Subaru. He has a Type RA. It's bagged. It's on work wheels.
That is a waste of time. I am so sorry.
It doesn't even have the wing anymore.
Why do you have a Type RA?
I don't know, but it looks a lot nicer than the stock Type RA.
You should have got stock Type. See, here's the problem with the Type RA. Here's the deal. The Type RA is a limited edition car.
That is the only reason why that car, I would say, is sensible. It's because it's limited edition.
No.
I would only own it since there's a specific amount of them. Everything else reason, if it wasn't limited edition, I would say it's a piece of shit car.
No, but you can't, because from the factory, everything has been upgraded already. The bushings has been upgraded, suspension has been upgraded. It has water cool intercoolers. Like it's actually pound for pound better than a stock STI in every aspect.
I don't think so.
It is, because
I think it's the same frame, it's the same motor.
Yeah,
there might be
it's upgraded again because that's
40 horsepower.
But here's the deal: if you're going like,
it's a tune. It's a Cobb Access Sport tune. It's less than a Cobb Access Sport tune.
But I get it from manufacturer. It's OEM. Everything is OEM plus.
I spend $400. I get 150 horsepower Cobb Access Sport.
Well, calm down. Nobody can make that much horsepower out of a EJ. First of all, EJ means extreme junk. Anyways, but the point is, it is a better car, and the money that you spend on it is for the amount that's made, so limited.
Yeah.
Then it's the performance enhancements. Example,
which is not much.
It's a lot.
It's not.
Put them on track.
I will do it.
It's a lot. It's matters.
I don't think so. You could say it's got 40 extra horsepower. You could say the suspension's been beefed up.
It is.
It's not as impressive as being able to throw BC coilovers and white line suspension upgrades.
But it already has all that from OEM. Why do I need to do that now?
Because it's cheaper, and it's
not cheaper.
I'm telling you, the price gap is $30K between the Type RA and the normal STI in the same year. It's $30K. If you're telling me I can't buy coilovers, white line suspension upgrades, wheels, and probably a bigger chassis mount wing for $30K, then I don't know what's made out of gold nowadays.
Like a 2019 STI is $50K plus now.
Okay.
And so for 10 grand more, you get a Type RA. Because the Type RAs are 50 to 60 right now. So I don't see why not. And also, this is also from a standpoint of, if you just want it out of the box, the Type RA is worth every dollar.
Type R, if you're never gonna put any mods on your vehicle, sure, then go for the bigger upgrade. But if it wasn't for the limited edition car, like the fact that there's only a certain amount of them, I'm a huge person about collecting rare cars. That's why I collect a lot of legacies, because they're very hard to get nowadays, right? Especially the older models.
Okay, how about this? Use your legacy for example, right? Well, there's the Spec B, right?
And the GT.
And then there's the base, right?
There's no base. There's Spec B Legacy.
Yeah, which is the 3.6? Or was that's just 2.5, right? 2.5 EJ.
They're 2.5.
So the STI, basically, STI motor. Okay.
Yep.
And then there's...
it's WRX, not STI motor.
Oh, okay. Which one has the STI motor?
They're the...
Oh, no, that's the Japanese ones only then. Never mind.
The Spec Bs in Japan have the STI motor. Yeah. So the North American ones, Spec Bs, have the WRX motor.
Yes.
The Legacy GTs have the WRX motor.
Yeah.
And then the naturally aspirated Legacy 2.5i's are just the naturally aspirated.
But there's also the 3.6s that you can
There
get.
is a H6, which
the
is
R, right?
The flat 3.0 R.
Yeah.
Which is a flat 6 engine, but it's naturally aspirated.
Yeah. But which one would you pick out of all those?
In what aspect?
See, that's the thing, right?
Performance or rarity?
See, they're all the Spec B is rare.
Spec B
is rare. Also rare.
And the R is also rare.
And so,
if you're going off rarity, it would be one of the two. I would have to argue, because my specific taste, even though a lot of people are chasing after the spec Bs, my specific taste is I would want to get the 3.0R flat 6, and then I would supercharge it.
Exactly.
There's a supercharger available.
See,
That's what I would want to do. But everyone else, like I said, everyone has their own opinions, and I understand that.
STI
but if we're comparing price range, a spec B 2.5 WRX motor compared to the Legacy GT, the huge price difference is understandable because there's a lot of fucking differences rather than the Type RA and the normal STI. For example, the Spec B comes with a STI 6-speed transmission with all the STI goodies for transmission.
Okay, so
the ratio
STI
and all that
drivetrain.
bullshit.
Okay, STI drivetrain.
The Legacy GT comes with a 5-speed WRX transmission with all of the WRX ratios, right? Another thing, just like the Type RA, the Legacy GT is just basically a straight WRX from factory in a Legacy car. The Spec B is a WRX block, but with STI heads, an STI turbo, and an STI intake. It's, again, like the Type RA, where there's not much of a performance upgrade for motor-wise, but it's still different. Suspension, it comes with the Blistine suspensions. Not the Legacy G doesn't come with the Blistine suspension, right? The rear subframes, depending on the model, I know are a little bit different, right? And it comes with a different exhaust setup. It comes with a different interior. I'm sure the Type R comes with a different interior.
It does.
Yeah, it probably does.
Alcantara.
Right? Yeah, so same thing with the Spec B came with Alcantara.
Yeah.
Right? Spec B had SI drive and S Plus, which was the STI, the whole transmission thing, right?
STI, yeah.
So when you look at it at that point of view, there's a lot of more features, like more driveline features, performance features in that made it worth it. The transmission, the power plant alone itself was a huge price cost that they had to put. Again, there was different wheels, aluminum wheels, different paint codes, more expensive paint, whatever bullshit. Front facelift, rear facelift with the bumpers. You know what I mean?
Type RA.
No, I'm sorry. The Type RA body wise looks identical to the normal STI body.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
Look at it carefully.
We're gonna pull. I'm gonna do it right now.
You should.
I'm going to.
It's completely different.
I'm going to. Right now.
It's different. It has wider arches.
So we're gonna do a 2020 STI.
I don't know what year they came in.
We're just gonna do 2020. We'll keep it like so. This is what an STI looks like. 2020.
Yeah,
You know,
basic. Yes.
Basic.
Very basic.
I know what they look like. I'm a big Subaru enthusiast.
Yeah.
So then 2029 Type RA.
Yeah.
This thing comes
Completely different.
with a splitter and a wing and maybe a front section
And
of the
the rear bumper is different.
And the rear
And
bumper.
the side and the fenders are different.
I don't think the fenders are
Look
different.
at the fender. It's wider slightly. Okay, that was a race car.
That was a race. We don't need to talk about that.
Right. The fenders are slightly wider. The wing, the front splitter.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it. No. I'm gonna look at it real closely because I really.
Also, the paint. The white is a different white.
The paint is the paint. I understand that. But
And interior, and the water cool intercooler. Don't forget that, and stiffening chassis, which you have to put in if you're gonna chase after.
So
it.
I think there's very few differences between
And the front bumper is different.
the front bumper is a little slightly different. Yes.
Here we go.
It's no. The front bumper is slightly different. The
Wing.
fenders are the same, and the side skirts are the same.
Okay, but the
I haven't seen.
different.
I haven't seen the. Okay, first of all, if you're gonna sit there and tell me the Type RA looks nicer, the Type RA wing looks nicer than the stock STI wing,
Yes.
you're garbage.
Okay, fine. I'm garbage.
Get that garbage out of here!
You're garbage.
But it's fine. I'm right.
I don't
or wrong.
want to listen to your opinion anymore. All right, it's the most jankiest wing a production car could have on it. I guarantee it.
You have not seen jank.
Name one more jankier wing. I will name it, but the wing that is more jankier is in his platform.
The TS wing.
Yes,
It's the same wing.
literally, it's jankier.
It's the same wing.
I swear to God.
No. You want to see some jank? You should see the Accord wings, Accord factory wings you can get. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, and it's the reason why I say it looks janky sometimes.
Yeah.
It's because it looks flimsy. It's proportion. It's smaller than the width of the car.
It is really rigid though. Actually,
You sure?
It's
I've
full
touched one in real life.
it's carbon.
You sure?
It's really rigid. It works.
Because I could manhandle one real easily.
We can manhandle anybody's wing.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna pay that price, okay, Veris carbon fiber wing, it ain't going nowhere.
That's 6 Gs.
Doesn't matter. ARP carbon fiber wing, it ain't going nowhere.
That's 3 Gs. And also, Nothing against APR, but like,
I don't have anything
it's too
against
big.
no brand.
It's too big, and also it's
Sometimes people go for bigger. Sometimes people.
Here's the deal.
I'd rather go for a bigger wing than a smaller wing.
well. The reason why it's on the smaller wing is because there's a recommendation specification that the wing has to follow in order to pass safety.
Okay, yes. Now, when we look at it a specific point of view for safety wise, when you're Ontario
Like
government,
for it to be legally sold.
yes, that's different. I understand why they can't go big or go home.
That's why the Type RA is so desirable.
Take it off the car. It doesn't look good.
Just buy a regular one then. It's fine. But no, okay, all jokes aside, it's a matter of also the exclusivity that comes with the Type RA. And
yes, you know what? I'd rather own a car there's only 300 out there than a million out there.
exactly.
I understand that.
That's why the Type RA is.
I understand that.
Just to come back and be right, the Type RA is a better car. But
I'm not gonna. I can't stand there and like let someone bring a stock Type RA to a car show and let them win an award
that shouldn't be the case.
Just because it's a Type RA.
That's like saying bringing a stock Lamborghini to the car show and be like, the Lamborghini's better because it's the only Lamborghini.
Exactly, right?
But that's the thing, right? Again, this actually really is funny because it will tie back to the topic we had earlier about Whitney's car, Justin's car, the taste in the cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Someone would argue with us that no, the Lamborghini's better because it's more rare. But no, it's not because there's nothing done to it from a personal standpoint.
No, I would vote for the car that's been modified the most and the nicest over a stock Ferrari or Lamborghini,
which
or
it should
McLaren,
be because
that's what the car culture is supposed to be in the sense when you go to car shows.
Yeah,
it's about showcasing something different, what you've built.
Yeah,
anybody,
personal.
Anybody, exactly. Yeah. It's like your personal bond with the car. Anybody could go to a dealership, buy an expensive car, and bring it to the car show.
You know, like I mean, like not everybody, but the point is,
no,
like,
people with money could do it.
Yeah, like you bring a stock Supra, and you'd be like, "Yo, it's the best looking car." Well, yes, it's a good looking car, but we're talking about personalizing.
I'd have to argue. I'd have to argue that anyone that brings a stockish car to a car show, they can't say that their car is. I don't want to discriminate anyone. They can say that they're in the midst of building it to what they want to be.
That's fine.
But they can't say they have the nicest looking car there because it's just like, I'm not going to let a stock body car with wheels and coilovers say they're competing, you know what I mean, at a level with cars that are going to Import Fest trying to be number one in their category, right? Sure. Now, take that back. I'm not saying your car looks ugly or bad. Your car can look beautiful with a stock body, with the right spec wheels, with the right, coilover height. Your car can look absolutely gorgeous, right? Yeah. And then you could have some small accessory tasteful mods here and there as well. Doesn't matter. But it's just all about, I feel like when there's a vast majority of people that can acknowledge the fact that a car's nice or that a car's not nice, like you said earlier, it's not about the car's not being nice, it's about, your taste being different. I feel like if you have a vast majority of people that agree on the same thing, that if it's not nice, I feel like that it's not nice.
No, definitely.
I think we all know
a rusty 8-gen Civic with
not even being rusty. I'm just being like the way cars are just modded out nowadays that are like so untasteful. Like I think we can all come to this agreement and understand that there are cars out there that we can all agree on as a community that this is ugly as hell. I understand that.
Hey man.
But then there's the beef that specific owners have with each other just because they feel like they want to be better than the other person, and that just becomes what you feel is nice and what the other person's differences are different, right?
All I'm saying is I slammed the Prius, so.
Hey man, if it looks good, it looks good. That's literally at the end of the day. And again, being objective, looking good to different people might mean different things. But as a whole car community, at least you can say a vast majority your car looks nice or it doesn't. You'll get the gist real quick if it doesn't look nice. A lot of people will tell you go change your car real quick. I'm pretty sure, right? But that's basically the talk of the night. I think that was a good little segment. Little banter back and forth. There's going to be some gloves getting taken off after the camera stop, I think.
Type RA is worth the money, for sure. Don't listen to him. He's wrong.
Don't buy a Type RA. It's not worth it.
Look, listen. I'm just going to summarize this. I won't buy
Hold on. 1 second. I love Subaru so much because all I own is Subaru. I'm a huge Subaru person, regardless of what the model is.
Crosstracker.
The Type RA is probably the last car I'd want to buy in a Subaru's entire collection. Entire collection is the Type RA. There's 1,000,001 other cars Subaru made and could make that I would buy before the Type RA.
This is the kind of man I'll buy Justy.
Based off of price and whatnot, I would just say absolutely no. And what you're getting for what it's worth. The whole being very rare part is awesome. Everybody wants that. I want that. I want to have a car that's really rare, a limited edition. But my personal opinion, I wouldn't do it. Not worth it to me.
I'm just saying I love the car. Doesn't mean I'll buy it. I'm just saying it's a lot.
If you had if you had the money for Type RA,
yeah.
Or what's your platform's Type RA model?
The TS?
The TS comes with that janky wing as well.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, TS.
Okay.
Is it? I'm pretty sure it's a big. Is there a big price difference between the two? No. Which one would you go for?
That's just because I don't like the EJ motor.
Is it Type TS also
TS.
Limited edition or no?
I forgot how many, very low quantity, but a TS. I'll put a TS over it.
TS, and it's okay. So maybe a little bit.
Wait. To specify.
Okay.
It's because I hate the EJ 257s, the 257s.
Okay.
I hate them. I hate them with a passion.
Okay.
And if you ask me why, I'll tell you why. But that's be another topic altogether.
Yeah, we're running out of time here. This was fun tonight though, but like. We're gonna have probably a part 2 with Michael from Neo Motorsports because I like arguing with him a lot.
I'll fight you, fam.
But I don't know. I just maybe nowadays these cars that are coming in, they don't look as nice as the older ones, and it's
older ones definitely had more presence in a sense. They're more unique in their own ways. The newer ones are a little more.
I just feel like it's a waste of time to buy a car like a Type TS or Type RA if people are buying it to get into the car scene and they're just gonna modify it anyways.
That I can agree with.
They're just gonna, if you're just gonna buy a car for stupid price just because it's like, oh, it's the highest model trim, and then take the wing off because it looks ugly, which I'm fine with, and change the wheels because they look ugly, you know what I mean, and do whatever stuff like that, then it's like, why wouldn't you just buy the base model STI or the base model?
If we're talking about that,
you know what I mean?
If we're talking like that, yes, because a good example is always this. I want eventually one day I want to mod R35 GTR, but I wouldn't mod Nismo. I would mod the base car.
I'm not a huge GTR fanatic, but I would love to own a GTR in life, a white one to be exact.
I want a blue one.
I wouldn't go crazy mods. I would, throw wheels if I have enough money, which I rarely doubt it. If I have enough money to get a wide body, I'd probably get a wide body. I know. I like wide body and everything. I don't know what's wrong with me.
The car's wide enough, bro.
And wider's better, all right? That's how I go.
Look at them BBWs.
Yeah, BBWs.
The big booty.
Big booties.
Big booty women.
Anyways, that's a whole other thing. But at the end of the day, it was
agree to disagree. I'm kidding.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
So, but it was a great night, and I think that the topics were fun to talk about. I think we got a lot off the table, or a lot on the table, taken off the table, thrown back onto the table.
Off tangent, come back.
If that made any sense, but we'll make sense of it.
Okay.
But anyways, thank you, Michael, from Neo Motorsports.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it a lot for coming on here, getting to have some fun banter back and forth. I look forward because we're definitely going to have a sequel to this one.
Sure.
Other topics that I want to discuss. Quick shout out to the Detail Shop Garage and all their locations, Mississauga, Pickering, and Kitchener. Again, thank you for displaying the detailed product. Did you know this? This is a sticky snowball, ultra snow foam.
Sticky snowball?
Yeah.
Hold on.
So let me just explain this to you. All right. Hold on.
The name.
No, it's a sticky snowball.
I can make sticky snowballs at home too.
This is listen. This is the thickest stuff on the market. All right.
My stuff's
high dense foam. All right. So
it can be foam if you want.
No. I'm telling you. If you want the thickest white stuff on the market,
come to my place.
Go to Chemical Guys. Tell them my name. They'll give you the good stuff. All right. You go to the Detail Shop Garage. say, hey, Marcello sent me for the thick white stuff. They're gonna give you this.
They're gonna send me to the back room too.
You know what? Hey, if they have overstock, they got overstock. But I've used this. This product works amazing. All right, literally is the thickest white stuff that my car has ever seen. All right, I've thrown a lot of thick white stuff at that bad boy. No, but great stuff. See, look, extra thick on the bottle. It's what it says. It's what it says. All right. Thank you, the Detail Shop Garage, for giving us this product to display for our podcast episode today. It's a great product. It's a great stocking stuffer. You missed. He's laughing at my puns.
Yo,
we made a little intro to this before you got here, and maybe when the podcast comes out, you'll see it. It's really funny.
Oh God,
it's hilarious. I don't even want to say it because it's gonna ruin the surprise for you. But you'll watch it. It'll be funny.
Okay.
So thank you to them. Also, guys, be sure to check out Neo Motorsports for all your big brake kits and coilover needs. If you're either going for performance on the track or just a street enhancement, please check them out. They're really good.
They're pretty.
I'm gonna be personally running their big brake kit on my car in the future, as well as on some of my other cars. I'm gonna be running their coilovers. It's a great product. It's highly recommended in the community. Go check them out. Really, really good. And they're beautiful. They look great. You know what I mean?
So blue.
Who wouldn't want that? Also, support local. It's the best part, supporting local. Last and foremost, thank you to Roto Wheels Canada for the partnership and dealership. Again, guys, if you have any inquiries or if you're looking for a new set of wheels for the 2023 upcoming show season, feel free to hit me up in my DMs on Instagram, my personal Marcello Nally, or the shop, The Front Official, for any questions or any concerns based off of the Roto Wheels factor. And a huge shout out to Nigel from North Vision Media. He is the man behind the camera. He is the guy that gets all the magic done. Another personal side shout out to 4K Angles, Charles, for being in person here today, doing some portrait shots, which is very nice of him. And to all of our listeners and viewers, thank you once again. It means a lot that you guys watch my stuff and get to enjoy, hopefully, some of the stuff we talk about, the little banter here and there and the fun jokes we make. So
get your sticky white stuff.
And make sure you get your sticky white stuff from the Detail Shop Garage, Pickering, Mississauga, or Kitchener. It's the thickest, the whitest coating you can buy on the market. Tell your girlfriends about it, all right? They won't be disappointed.
Tell your girlfriends to come to me about it, yes.
You make sure you mention my name. You send them to the store. Say, Marcello sent me to get my girlfriend the thickest white stuff you guys sell for my car.
I sell the bootleg stuff out of my back of my house, so you can come through too. I can't.
And the price is the best in the market. Unbeatable. You tell them I sent you, they'll hook you up. Guaranteed.
The thickest, the whitest?
Thickest, the whitest, the most durable. All right?
I'm sorry.
The most enjoyable when you spray it on your car. It's the best. All right?
I can't. I gotta go home.
So thank you again. And until next time. Goodbye, everyone. See you. Christmas special. Forgot to mention that. Reindeer comes in. There's a reindeer just. People are like, boom! Like, why are they wearing those? Why are they wearing those fucking Christmas hats? Like, what's wrong with them? Oh, that's a wrap. That's a wrap.